Welcome to day 7 of the 20-day countdown to Juneteenth 2020. Today, I will be providing a brief highlight on 5 out of the many thousands of Black female liberators who made or are making giant footprints in our African American legacy. If you don't know or are slightly unfamiliar with these great African American females, please take the time to research and read their history, search their profiles and their contributions to know the essence of who they were. Knowledge is power. The depth and breadth of our history is worthy of knowing, celebrating, and taking individual responsibility with the gifts we have to make a difference. And it's more important now than ever. Stacey Y. Abrams, political leader, activist, and author. Stacey Adams was born December 9, 1973. She is a graduate of Spelman College and Yale Law School. While in college, she worked in the Youth Services Division of Mayor Maynard Jackson in Atlanta. She served as the House Minority Leader for the Georgia General Assembly and State Representative for the 89th House District. She was the Democratic Party's nominee in the 2018 Georgia gubernatorial election. She lost to Brian Kemp in an election marred by accusations of voter suppression by Kemp. Her star is rising, and her name has surfaced as a potential vice president candidate nominee for Biden's presidential campaign. She now heads Fair Fight, a partisan group founded to campaign against voter suppression. Mary Church Terrell. She was born in 1863 and died in 1954. She was a women's rights and civil rights activist. She was a lifelong activist for women's rights and civil rights. In 1896, she founded the National Association of Colored Women. In the 1950s, she successfully led the fight to desegregate Washington, D.C.'s public restaurants. Sojourner Isabella Truth. She was born in 1797 and died in 1883. She was a well-known abolitionist and women's rights activist when it was really unpopular. She was born in Ulster County, New York. Her parents were slaves, and she too was enslaved and gained her freedom in 1827. She was illiterate, but had great eloquence and a commanding presence. She became one of the nation's most sought-after speakers on abolition and women's rights. Her "Ain't I a Woman" address to the Second National Women's Suffrage Convention in 1852 is still quoted. Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah Brelow Walker, 1876 she was born, and she passed in 1919. She was a businesswoman. She is one of the first American women to become a self-made millionaire. She was born in Delta, Louisiana. In 1905, she invented a method for hair straighteners for African Americans' hair. Her hair straighteners were special preparations and heated combs. She promoted her method and developed a business that flourished. Intent upon teaching Black women how to be successful in business, she organized clubs and conventions for her representatives and was active in philanthropy. Fannie Lou Hamer. She was born in 1917 and died in 1977. Fannie Lou Hamer was the youngest of 20 children of Mississippi sharecroppers. As a young girl and woman, she worked as a cotton sharecropper Despite her lack of formal education, she entered the civil rights movement in the 1960s and was one of the founders of the interracial Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, which challenged white supremacy in Mississippi. In 1964, she ran for Congress on the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party's Freedom Ballot. She received more votes than her white opponent, Congressman Jamie Whitten, but saw her election invalidated by the state. Classic voter suppression that we see continuous today. We have much to learn from her and not let her work be in vain. She is famously quoted for her saying, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Please join us tomorrow for Day 8 on African American Male Liberators.